Welcome, creepy people, to Dread Central. My name is Xero Gravity, and today we are continuing our celebration of the Black experience in horror with a panel that is filled with online excellence. So today, allow me to introduce a portion of the Scream Reapers team. We have founder the Female Phenom and members writing Vampires and Erratic Bandit. Thank you all for joining me for this discussion. It means a lot. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing good.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Of course. My pleasure. All right, so let's just jump in. Let's start with a quick introduction as well as either a horror game, movie, or IP that you feel represents you or your content, or you're just a fan, something that you could talk about, nerd out about a little bit.
I'm Sharon, or Writing Vampires, or SC Parris. I write dark fantasy books that feature vampires, werewolves, dragons, giants, mermaids, all that fun stuff. I've been into horror my whole life, and I guess a movie that I would say represents me, or I think people think about me when they think about it, I hope, is Bram Stoker's Dracula. That shaped my life when I watched it as a kid. And that's why I write about vampires, pretty much.
I guess I'll go next. Hi, Erratic Bandit. I am a horror game Let's Player on Twitch. I think for me, the horror game that really shaped my the last 10 years would be Outlast. That game came out freshman year of college. I don't know why, I've loved horror all my life, but I never considered horror games. And one of my friends, he's like, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, put these headphones on, turn these lights off. And
no warning.
no. And the
Yikes.
fear that just consumed me was pleasurable. I was hooked. I was into it. And from that point on, I was playing horror games and you could not make me stop.
Are they still your friend though?
No.
Well, thanks.
But I got horror games out of that friendship. So
Nice. You got something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And last but not least,
hi everybody. I'm the Female Phenom. I am a self-taught special effects makeup artist, also the founder of the Scream Reapers, a horror-based stream team that consists of Femmes presenting women of color. The game that pretty much shaped horror gaming for me was Friday the 13th on Nintendo. And ever since then, it moved to Nightmare on Elm Street. And then I didn't see any more horror games. So I just played those until. And then I found out about more horror games as I got older. So that's where I got horror gaming from. And movies, Halloween 1978, all-time favorite. So
you can't go wrong with it. Go ahead.
May I amend and add to my, because I never talked about games, but I stream on Twitch under Writing Vampires, and a game that defined, I feel like, my Twitch since I started was Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, nice.
I learned this game, well, I'm terrible at it, but it I found that having all of these different horror IP in one game was pretty cool. And it was just something fun to do with my community and friends and keep playing. I can't play Outlast, by the way. I
can help you.
Please. I have Outlast 2 on my PlayStation, and I cannot. I don't know what to do, and then you can't fight back. I'm just.
I love not fighting back. I'm not a fighter.
Me either.
I tell my friends every day, if you get into a fight, I cannot help you. I will write you a strongly worded, angry letter, but I'm not fighting.
But that's why I love Evil Dead, the game, because you can fight back. That's why I enjoy it. It's very hard. No, it's hard. It's difficult.
You're only going to hear that quote from a horror head. Like, quote, I love not fighting back. Like, there's no other fandom will you will hear that quote.
Fighting is so stressful. Can't.
It is.
It is.
I heard somebody mentioned I work in a gaming lounge, just my 9 to 5, and so I hear a lot of interesting commentary. And when the Evil Dead game dropped, there was like serious chatter about potentially like dethroning Dead by Daylight. I don't know how I think about. Yeah, okay. Clearly that's a divisive statement based on your reactions, but I don't know. I think it's the IPs that keep everybody back, the character, the legacy characters that we all love.
Yeah.
And that's how I found you originally, was like through Dead by Daylight like tags, is how I found
Me?
Yeah, is how I found your stream, like way
No.
back in the day, and then the Scream Reaper is everybody else. But it's a blessing and a curse. It's a labor of love.
Yeah.
The whole fighting back, or not fighting back, rather. All right, let's jump into some questions. My first question is for the Female Phenom. Just straight up, what is the Scream Reapers team, and what led you to create this group of awesome people?
So the Scream Reapers team is a horror-based stream team. I just wanted to bring a lot of femmes or women of color together, because when you look at the horror industry, it's white, male dominated, and I felt like there wasn't one like this already. Like, you see a lot of stream teams and they have like, they play a variety of games and stuff like that, but then I'm looking and I'm like, where's a horror team that I can join? And then somebody said, why don't you start one? So I was like, what? So I've sat on it for about a year or two, I want to say. And then I started like sending out flyers. I started sending out invites, and I met these awesome group of people. Like we watch movies together. We have game nights. We do all kinds of things. Every hard game key that comes out, I'm sending out cold emails. Right now I'm trying to work on PR packages for everybody so that, you know, they can experience that. I just wanted to bring, my love of horror started as a child, and I wanted to bring everybody together that loves the same thing, because we're out here, not enough people are looking for us. But I also got tired of the, oh my God, you like horror movies, or oh my God, you like horror. And I'm like, yeah, like that's something that, you know, I like to do. So I just wanted to bring a group of awesome people together, showcase them, showcase their talents, and just have some friends to kick it with. So
I love it. I think one thing that, or I think the thing, I mean, besides the horror part being like number one fandom, but the thing that brought me to the Scream Reapers and why I wanted to talk to a couple of you guys so bad was because I really admire your like drive for community. I mean, I know of, I exist on Twitch a little bit, you know, I lurk here and there, and so I'm aware of a couple teams that have piqued my interest, but none of them really seem to have that community aspect. And me as an individual, like, community is everything for me. And I think the range of people in your group, the fact that, I don't know, it just seems like you guys exist together online, and instead of just having like a showcase of cool talent, which you guys definitely are, it also seems like a place where you can just enjoy horror together. And I think above all else, that's the most important thing. And then when you have, or when you feel like you have an awesome community, then, you know, then you can, you know, send out all these stream keys and you can all advance in your careers and advance in your content. But together, I think it's a really important thing. So yeah, you guys are just dope. So I have another question for all of you. What is it about horror, dark fantasy, the macabre that makes all of you want to share it with your online community? Is there something or some things?
There's something communal about being scared Like you see a haunted house, you're like, I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there alone. But all it takes is like a friend or even just a stranger. Haunted houses, I am huddled up to like the next person. I don't care who they are, but being together in a scary situation is comforting. And I've had several people come to my stream like, I am not playing this scary game. I'll watch you play it, but I'm not. It's like, I will gladly be that person. Huddle up with me. We can all go through this as a group, play this scary game, get our scares, get our giggles. And honestly, that's what I love about it.
Period. Good answer. Anyone else?
I think for me is that I remember like the look on my dad's face when he like assumed I was going to be scared when he showed me my first horror film, and then the joy of that was our little thing that we had together. So I think I kind of like wanted to have that same effect, like watching people like, you know what, it scared the hell out of me, but it was really good. Like I like to introduce it in the evolution of horror from when you look at the old black and white movies to slashers to sci-fi, all of these things, all of these different genres is constantly evolving, and it's drawing in new consumers, it's drawing in new viewers because they identify with something from each of those genres or they're interested in it. So I love introducing it to people and talking with them, letting them know, you know, like having people ask questions about, well, I saw that character somewhere. And I'm like, yeah, he played in another horror film, such and such. And they're like, oh, wow. And then they want to see that movie. So it's pretty cool to watch that.
For me, I like these tagline, getting to the heart of the monster from, and that's why I started Monster Thoughts, my horror site and horror review. I don't know, YouTube, I need to start that up again. But I would always, whenever I'd play Dead by Daylight with my community, I would start talking about the movies that the killers are from, and then we would just snowball from there. And they would tell me about the backstories of the killers because I don't know all of them, and they were like, my community knows like everything, and I'm just like, that's so interesting, like that's so cool. And I just think I just like analyzing monsters and why we like my high school thesis, senior thesis, was why we watch horror movies. A 30-page paper.
Wow.
30-page
That's
paper.
the best homework assignment
on why we watch horror. It could have been anything, and that's what I chose. And it really helped me learn like why Godzilla was made, to help the Japanese deal with the nukes that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And just golems, and just all of these monsters are created to help a community or a part of the world feel catharsis, work through their trauma or pain, and that we do the same thing every time we sit down and watch a horror movie or play a scary game. We're working through, well, not all the time, but most of the time, you're watching a movie to get to the resolution, feel what the main characters, like a romance, you want to feel the happy ending, the love, and work through that. You want to, if it's a sad movie, you want to cry. It's that same thing applies. So that always interested me, and I like looking deeper into why a character is the way they are. That just goes for any character, I think, especially like monsters, and that's why I typically write about vampires as a stand-in, but also not really, for marginalized individuals. Like, and I just find it interesting also how a reader who read The Dark World said that a creature's ability to turn from a vampire to a human to a werewolf reminds them of trans people. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't even realize that. But now that I'm writing my next book, I realized that the plight of my vampires can resonate with Black people, with other races, and with trans people, because they're always dealing with masking or holding back their monstrous nature, or trying to fit in in a world that, you know, doesn't want them to exist. And I think we can all relate to that in some way, which is unfortunate.
Hell yeah, we can.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but yeah,
that's some heavy stuff right there, man. And I mean, invalid too. And you know, to all of your points, like I think horror is a pretty like vulnerable thing to share with people, and the fact that you guys like this is what you do for an audience is enjoy horror with people says a lot about, I mean, as shallow as it sounds, like your bravery. I know like a lot of people don't want to be scared on camera or like, you know, be, you know, jump like at a jump scare on camera, but
I'd be jumping.
You know, listen, we all do. We all be jumping. If you think for a second that horror fans are like never scared, like I think that's cap personally. I think it's the scaredness that like brings us back. And even to a deeper point, to all of your points, like, you know, why does this make us scared? You know, oh, like we're gonna try playing as Pinhead today on Dead by Daylight. Oh, well, Pinhead really scares me. Well, why do you think he scares you so much? Because he represents this thing, and you know, let's talk about it. Oh, you remember the time in that movie when Hell Priest did this, and that really made me feel some type of way as a woman, or you know, it just it's surface level, but if you really wanted to, you could really get deep into it. And I think you guys all do with your content, which is like really cool. You can't get that shit from a rom-com. I'm sorry.
No, you can't. No, it's not the same. It's not the same.
And as much as I love like a point and shoot, you're not going to get that from Apex Legends either. Sorry. That's just not that's that's not what's going to happen. But I want to bring up your podcast. Well, a lot of you are artists, and a lot of the rest of your team, the Scream Reapers team. I wish I could have had everybody on, but this panel would have been like, you know, 16 hours long. And maybe we'll do a part 2 eventually. But a lot of you guys do your own art with the podcasting and physical art and the books that you write. And I know some of your team will either post it online or even performing your art live. When I was on your podcast, we were doing it in real time. What are some pros and cons of doing your art, whether it just be live streaming a game or doing your podcast, doing visual art online? What are the pros and cons of doing that with an audience, an online audience rather?
Oh, me or just like all of us?
Anyone, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if anyone was going to talk. I'll go. I'll go. I stopped doing the podcast on Twitch because a few people told me that they were like, I noticed that they were nervous, and I'm like, afterward I'd be like, it's, you know, beforehand I'd be like, it's me. We talk shit all the time. Like I'm just talking to you about monsters. Like it's okay. But they would always be nervous. And I think the live aspects bothered a lot of people. And even though chat was engaging and they were talking and asking questions, and I tried my best to make people feel comfortable, I noticed that they were just it took away, like one person told me afterward that they had more they wanted to say, but they couldn't, or they forgot to say it because they were so nervous. So I know that live streaming can be, or like being on camera is work. It feels like a chore for me. It's a lot of work, like for me to want to sit here and stream. So that's why I took like a big hiatus last year, because it's like performance, like you're performing. You know, you have to be upbeat and all that stuff. So I feel like that played into it. And now when I start, I have to edit so many episodes and get them up. But once I think you did, somebody signed up for my podcast again. I don't know, recently, and I have no idea who. I have to check it. But now I'm just doing no video. We're just capturing voice, and that's awesome. That's been better, I think. I mean, it sucks for my YouTube, but I think I'm just gonna keep my YouTube to my reviews only for like horror and analysis and horror movies and stuff when I have free time, because I don't. Because I don't.
I know for me, I'm proud of the fact that I'm a scaredy cat. When I open up these horror games, my innate reaction is just to hide in a corner, turn off the light, face the wall, and just wait for it to be over.
You're gonna Blair Witch it.
yeah.
But it's like, you can't do that because you have people in chat waiting, wanting to see it. And that is like having to fight my gut reaction to hide, turn away, don't look.
My gosh, yes.
And instead turn that light on, face that monster, run to that monster. And it's just like, I'm only doing this for you guys.
Yeah. You said it.
Yes.
Oh man.
I think the pros for me, I love special effects makeup, and I like doing it live. I'll sometimes involve my chat where we have community challenges, and they will pick a monster, or they'll pick somebody that they want me to create. So I enjoy doing that because it gives me more practice. It helps me out with my art and stuff. The cons are finding the equipment and stuff. Like, I remember a time where you could buy like latex and, you know, like teeth and stuff like that, and it was at a reasonable price, and now the prices are up. So it's like, God, I can't do this. But then I started learning how to improvise with like going back to when I was a child, when I would make masks with like paper mache and stuff. So now it's like, I can use latex with toilet paper and I can try to create something, or I can use, you know, cornstarch and stuff and go back to, you know, my roots, making fake blood. So those are the pros and cons of it. As far as gaming, with horror games, I want to say create your own adventure horror games like Until Dawn, The Quarry, stuff like that. The pros of that is that I get to play them. And the cons is that sometimes I forget that I'm live and I'm just sitting there and I'm like fussing at the and then I'll look over and somebody had like a shit ton of stuff to say in chat, and I'm like, I'm sorry, this game is really good, but I'll get to comment.
Yo, that's funny. I mean, that's kind of what happens when like you make your fandom like, you know, something that you produce live. Like, let's just be real. Like, sometimes the shit is so good. Like, I'm just gonna forget to, you know, look over at chat.
Me playing Devour. I'm still too busy screaming.
Exactly.
Screaming.
Running from Spider Lady. No, thank you.
I have a problem with Devour because one time I was playing like with off camera, like off stream with friends, and it was a thunderstorm. I was alone in the apartment, and the demon was right in front of me, and the power went out. Everything went out.
And then your stream went down?
I wasn't streaming. I was just playing in Discord with friends, and I think it was like some Scream Reapers and another person, and I was just like, that has made me like, I'm hesitant to play Devour, but I want to play it again because I miss that. Devour terrifies me. I don't know why. The atmosphere, everything. I don't know. It just freaks me out. It's a great game.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think I know exactly why. I think I know why, because it's terrifying.
It me out.
And then you're asking me to entertain. Well, not in this exact case, but you know, then I'm too busy fearing for my life and sweating all over my controller.
I've learned
entertainment. Unfortunately,
I've learned that my community loves clipping me when I jump and scream.
Yes,
and I'm like,
that's
you guys,
entertainment.
They scare me all the time because I have sound alerts, and they love. Two people love using them when they enter chat, and they're the loudest thing, and they always clip my reaction. And I'm like, you guys are great.
Those two people, they better be watching right now.
Right?
This is a call out post.
Love it. Oh man.
Yeah, chat can definitely sometimes be scarier than the actual game you're playing.
Yes, absolutely.
Ooh, you know what? On that note, I would like to just, period. First, I want to say shout out to all of y'all for embracing the jump scare, because not many people, let alone women, will embrace the jump scare, and it is really a skill. That is really a skill.
Yes.
But on that note, about your chat can sometimes be scarier. I think that we can all agree that existing as Black and brown creatives on the internet can be a little bit of a risky space to occupy. I'm sure we've all had weird run-ins on the internet. But to combat that, like, what does your organization, the Scream Reapers, provide for its members and also provide for the public, those who are not in your immediate group?
Well, I think I had this conversation, like a couple of members were like, well, are we going to open it up to like people who support us? And I was like, well, maybe I should. And then I went back and forth. And then what's crazy was the week before, like it was during the time period where we had like got hate rated like constantly. Like it was like crazy. And a week before, I was going to announce that, you know, I was going to let a couple of our supporters in, but it had to be like invite only. And then that happened. And I'm like, no, like, because I feel like as a leader, my job is to protect them and create this safe space for them so that they have somewhere to go when they need to get away from, you know, the streaming world, or when they, you know, just need a break. And I said, I cannot, like, there's no way that I can open this up to people. Like, I just can't, because I always tell them all the time, like, this is your space. Like, I just had a meeting with them and I told them, like, if y'all want to watch a movie or play a game, y'all don't need my permission. Like, I trust y'all, you know, and there's no way that I can just like have somebody come in there and then just ruin the vibe or ruin what we've built as a whole and our safety be at risk. I just cannot. So I pride myself very much on creating a space where they can vent, where they can watch what they want to watch. We can, you know, game together and we have no issues but a good time or an internet interruption. So that's what I try to offer them. And I try to offer them like tools to grow, to anything that I learn. I always try to pass it on to them because I want them to win and I want them to thrive in this business, because it's not easy for women of color, especially Black women, in the content creation influencer space. So I try as much as I can to pass on tools, pass on encouragement, and make sure that, you know, they know their worth as well, and know that they are safe here where they in the graveyard, as I call it.
Love it.
Yeah, I know the Scream Reapers community has been a space that I've been looking for since I got into gaming, horror gaming, so like 10 years ago. And I remember starting out, I could only buy single player horror game or just games in general because I was too scared to play a multiplayer horror game with randoms. And then they find out, oh, you're a woman? Oh, you sound Black. And what was subsequently come from that. And I would go on Reddit and I would go finding all these Discord communities. There would always be like a pocket of Black women, Black femmes who played horror games. It's like, okay, these are my people. But to have a whole community who all love horror, all just see myself in them, this right, like, about to tear up, the Femmes Phenom, like, I have been looking for this for so long, and I've just really appreciate the fact that you've built this space on the internet.
I'm glad. I'm so glad.
I'm glad I got in when I did.
Parris.
What? Listen, they were closed to what you call it.
I was.
And I think I was in your stream. And you were just like, no, just let her in.
Yep. I'm a huge lurker, and I had saw her, I think, on Twitter. And she was talking about vampire stuff, and then she writes books, and I was like, who is this goddess? Like, who is she? So I went and lurked in a couple of her streams, and I saw like all of her aesthetics and her setup, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm in a vampire cave. Like, I love it here. And she came into my stream, and she was like, well, oh my God, the application's closed. And I told my colleague, I said, open it up. I said, she's coming in here now. I said, she's dope as fuck. I said, let her in. Aww. And she's been a pleasure ever since. Like, I love her to death. She's awesome.
Thank you so much. And our wrestling connection too.
Yes.
Yeah.
She loves wrestling too.
Kind of. I mean, like horror and wrestling are kind of like I've come to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And I only just started like dipping my toes into the wrestling fandom after I had met you, for that obvious reason.
Yeah.
But I've come to learn that they're very they're very tight, very tight.
Mm-hmm.
Just cool. And that's something that I'm personally excited to explore more of, because I'm just very, very new to it. But you have done a very amazing job at curating a team that are, every single person stands unique, are good at what they do. They seem like very genuine people. And I can say, like, from the outside looking in, it is just really important to have representation. Mm-hmm. So, when I feel like, there's, like Erratic Bandit said, there's, I have my little pocket. I have my little pocket, and, 50% of them I went to high school with, so it doesn't really count as a community. Mm-hmm. And then I click on the Scream Reapers team channel on Twitch, and I see, how many members do you have now?
Oh God, I think like 30. I want to close to 30, probably like 20, somewhere around 20 or 30. I was gonna
say 19.
Yeah, somewhere around that area.
But we're rolling deep now. So when I click on your channel and I see 20 plus Black and brown femmes that I can all relate to in, either the same or different ways, that just shows me that, okay, I'm tripping. I don't have to rely on my little pocket. Like, we are really out here. But,
exactly.
Unfortunately, it takes the work of a handful of people to bring everyone together. And, even though we all exist on the internet and we're all accessible, it's not really that accessible to go to a central hub and, for, lack of better words, just click and find your community. Not for us, at least. For others maybe, but it's not that easy for femmes like us. And so I think it's really important, just you guys existing together as a group. You guys send a really great message, and that's I'm just sucking up at this point. But thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thank
you are so incredibly talented. I told you that already. And I'm so glad to see your wide range of talents in the horror space be strengthened by your numbers. And you are all inspirations to the younger Black horror heads who will eventually find themselves on the internet and looking for people like us. I'm looking at your son in the back. I know he's going to be right up there with us soon.
Oh my God. He swears he's a Scream Reaper. Like, I'm like, see. I'm like, this is for us. You can make your own team, okay?
Right. And that necessary, still the same.
Yes.
But yes, again, thank you guys for taking the time to meet with me. Please continue to support Black horror if you're watching this panel on Dread right now. It makes our industry just better and stronger for everyone, not just for us. That's all I have to say. I've been Xero Gravity. Thank you so much for watching. Excellent. All right.
Dope.
Yay.
Yay.